This video discusses an issue that is crucial in the pursuit of a fair and just society: the corruptive influence of power. Throughout history and across nations, there are countless instances where individuals in positions of power have become corrupt, leading to devastating consequences. As the famous saying goes, power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. When this cycle of corruption prevails, it not only stymies social and economic progress, but it also erodes trust in our institutions and undermines the moral fabric of society. Let's look into the factors that fuel such corruption and explore some solutions to tackle it. It is hoped that through awareness and informed action, we can work to mitigate the negative consequences of corruption and promote integrity, transparency, and accountability in our institutions. Corruption, as understood here, is the misuse of public power for private gain. It manifests in several forms, including bribery. This involves offering, giving, receiving, or soliciting something of value as a means to influence the actions of an individual holding a public or legal duty. Embezzlement. This entails the misappropriation or mismanagement of public funds for personal purposes. Nepotism. This is favoritism based on family relationships. Cronyism. The practice of appointing friends or associates to positions without proper regard to their qualifications. Corruption in public office has far-reaching impacts and implications. It undermines the effectiveness of governments and erodes the institutional capacity of government if procedures are disregarded, resources are siphoned off, and public offices are bought and sold. It hampers economic development by distorting markets and hindering private sector development. On a societal level, corruption fosters inequality, disenfranchisement, and social unrest. The rule of law is crucial in establishing accountability for misuse of power and corruption. Laws on corruption, such as anti-bribery regulations and codes of conduct for public officials, provide a clear framework within which individuals in public office are expected to operate. These laws set the standards for ethical behavior and ensure that those in power are responsible for their actions and are subject to due process when they stray from these norms. A functioning system of accountability involves multiple channels that work together to keep corruption in check. Some of these channels include courts. The judiciary serves as a crucial pillar in maintaining accountability. Independent courts can investigate, prosecute, and punish individuals for corrupt acts, thereby deterring future attempts at corruption. Ethics committees. Institutions such as ethics committees within governmental bodies or independent anti-corruption agencies help monitor and ensure compliance with anti-corruption laws and regulations. Media and public opinion. An independent and vigilant media plays a vital role in shining a light on corrupt practices, thereby mobilizing public opinion and bringing pressure to bear on those involved in corrupt activities. Civil society organizations. Non-governmental organizations and citizen groups can monitor and report corruption and lead grassroots efforts to promote transparency and accountability. International oversight. International bodies and agreements, such as the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, provide a global framework for anti-corruption efforts and facilitate cooperation between countries in preventing and combating corruption. By working cohesively, these mechanisms create a system of checks and balances that can mitigate corruption. For instance, a robust legal framework coupled with proactive monitoring by ethics committees and public watchdogs can identify and address corrupt practices before they become systemic. Public pressure through media and civil society organizations can further deter corruption by holding accountable those involved and advocating for institutional reforms. International collaboration allows for the sharing of best practices and resources, amplifying the effectiveness of national efforts to curb corruption. The fight against corruption relies heavily on a strong legal framework that not only makes corrupt practices illegal but also imposes heavy consequences for such actions. Notable pieces of legislation include the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, FCPA, in the United States, which prohibits businesses from bribing foreign officials. The United Kingdom Bribery Act, which also criminalizes bribery, including in foreign countries. The United Nations Convention Against Corruption, an international treaty committing member states to combat corruption. Each of these pieces of legislation plays an instrumental role in defining and criminalizing corrupt practices, thereby creating a legal basis for pursuing justice. Investigative agencies play a crucial role in unmasking corruption by conducting investigations, gathering evidence, and preparing corruption cases for prosecution. These bodies include local police forces, national investigative agencies, and multinational bodies such as Interpol. An effective investigative agency is characterized by its independence, capacity to carry out detailed investigations, and power to prosecute violations. Transparency and freedom of information are fundamental preconditions for accountability and the prevention of corruption. Legal tools that promote transparency and access to information, such as Freedom of Information Acts, are key instruments in the fight against corruption. By ensuring that public information is easily accessible, these tools empower citizens, journalists, and civil society organizations to hold public officials and institutions accountable. In conclusion, confronting the corruptive influence of power is a monumental challenge that requires the concerted efforts of individuals, institutions, and nations alike. By strengthening legal frameworks, enhancing transparency, and fostering a culture of accountability, we can take significant strides toward eradicating corruption. It is through our collective vigilance, informed actions, and unwavering commitment to justice that we can safeguard the integrity of our institutions and contribute to the creation of a fairer, more just society. As we continue to shine a light on these dark corners of power, let us remember that each step taken against corruption is a step towards a brighter, more equitable future for all. Thank you for joining this crucial conversation. Together, let's commit to being relentless guardians of integrity in our relentless pursuit of a world free from corruption.